Hey guys, um, I am not serious. I'm not the dog star. That was a joke. It was a play on words, a pun at the time. I'm quite sure I'm not the dog star because I don't have any dog ambition for one thing, and plus, I think if I was a dog, I'd be a lot more passionate in different ways that I don't think I am. Um, it does seem that there has been some difference, some transition of some sort. And I pray that we do continue up and we do continue to advance. I pray that the heavens, continue to advance me and to make me climb and root me in higher and higher places. No, we're not trying to go above the God of heaven. We're certainly not. We'd be real happy just to get up there close, be with him. Um, and as you'll notice, I'm not saying I will do this and I am going to do that and I this and I. No, it's I. I pray that the heavens above and all those of good love um, continue to assist me and to bring me up. I am very grateful for being made so awake and aware, and that we continue to improve, and that we're becoming more and more disconnected from all that is of the darkness and detached spiritually and energetically from these that have sought to hold me down. Those of that tribe, those of the darkness and fire magic. I'm very happy that we're continuing to raise up and that we're going to be raised up far above and out of the reach of all these of magic and witchcraft. And we won't be in connection with anyone that has that spirit. No one that has the spirit of any demonic spirits or Satan himself. And so I'm very happy about that. And I'm very grateful for all that are working to make sure that happens. And again, I want you to know I don't hate you. I don't have anger to. Right now, I seem to be disconnected from all who have anger or that they're distant from me or they're very much have suppressed it or gotten rid of it or something. But there's just an absolute lack of it. There's not even the hint of it here because whenever those that have anger are with me, I can sense that as an energy. It's not anger in me, but it can come across as a righteous indignation, perhaps something like that. Not even that extreme, to tell you the truth. Um, but I can sense it. It's not I'm angry, but I could probably come across as though I could sound like it maybe. It's an energy, but I'm okay, without it. I'm just happy without, and I'm very glad of that. When I went out at the designated time that I would be going out, that all knew I would be going out at that time. Went over here to Sam's. My God, here it was. It's just a Friday afternoon at what was it, 2 o'clock in the afternoon or something, right? 2 o'clock, I guess, and just ridiculous crowds, throngs of people. It seemed like, and I'm pretty sure that was Sly that drove by smoking a cigarette. And I will tell you, I appreciate any of the help that's being given. The thing of it is the wrongs that have been done can be atoned for, and you know that as well as any. The real problem, of course, came from the fact that it was all deception, and that no one said, "Well, Tom, this is the story, and this is what we're hoping we can do with you and accomplish," and blah blah blah. Because if any of that had happened in the first place, you know what? So long as I could have been guaranteed that at a certain point I could say goodbye and we could disconnect from each other, I'm sure I would have been happy to help. And I can't say that in the future I won't, because obviously we've been here in the darkness for more than just to experience darkness. And it was to experience some of them here. And I do believe that, in fact, there's a great deal of night that can come back to day under the correct circumstances, we could work with that possibly. But for now, of course, we're going to just continue on up. And of course, we pray that we remain disconnected and detached from all those that could be or would be harmful to us. Anything of the enemy, of course. And I think basically our prayers are going to be about being only connected to those of our own kind and to those that are day. And again, I'm not the dog. I'm not the dog star. I'm not. Somebody was trying to put that out. I'm like, no, we're not a dog. It's more like, we'll be going through the lion's gate because we are of that spirit. And yeah, it's been ramping up more. Aries is a good friend of mine. And that lion energy has always been something that we could tap into. But an awful lot of people, I don't know, if it's the Lion of Judah or what, but there is a royal flavor behind us and an attitude of that. And it is about, I will tell you this, it's like every indicator is I am a white guy, but I am light. So I know more than anything, I am of the light. And we feel very comfortable, rooted in the blue skies, kept in blue. We very comfortable there, and it's probably because we are white, and white has a real big energy to it. And I understand we give off white light an awful lot, and we shine it, and we can be quite bright. We're hoping that we return to being bright again. I pray that we continue to grow and be made more powerful, and receive more of what we need, our daily bread, and maybe years of bread gone by that we didn't get. We've been promised that many times. Back pay. I hope it comes soon. They are talking about as though, even that Christy Jessie girl sounded sincere in what she was talking about. And I know that it's probably just more of the same show, but it is better. Listen, none of this has been personal for me. It's just simply once we got to the point where it was like, none of this is working and they just keep taking all our energy, and there's no explanation, there's no meeting, there's no conversation, not anything at all like a team or a partnership or anything. That's when we left Arizona. And of course they followed us. But ever since then, it's like it's it's evil doing it. And it was little bits and pieces where we actually experimented and found out that we were involved with what seemed to be magic. And of course then we worked to undo all of that. It was revealed, that these people were haters and they were of black magic and stuff like that, So that's just, and of course, we're above magic and we're supposed to be above magic. We don't engage. If I were to get engaged with magic, it'd have to be for some, I don't know why I would, because I know there's an expense to it. You don't want to get caught up with it. It's not something you want to do or be a part of. I certainly don't. And I pray that we're being made separated from it once and for all, because we never wanted to join that long black train to wherever that goes. We're too much of a happy, shiny kind of person to get involved with magic. And you know what? There's been lots of times where I didn't get what I wanted in life and things didn't turn out the way I wanted them to turn out. And it was sad and there was problems, this and that. But you know what? I never hated God. I never said, damn you, shaking my fist at the sky or anything. I never did anything but my own grieving and mourning and have my own sorrow and sadness. And I thought, well, things are as they are, and we'll just have to keep on soldiering forward, doing the best we can, not having any idea what was right or wrong. Gosh. Gosh. I'm just really happy that all those of heaven still love me. And the God of heaven still loves me, and that even though I've been probably one of the most foolish things, and have been used and abused so very much, I'm so very happy that I didn't become evil, that I didn't go over into that. It would have been easy, I'm sure, but there was something, you know what? There were those that were blocking it from the very beginning. They were blocking me from her, trying to make sure I couldn't see her, trying to make sure I would, I guess there was stuff done to make me very uncomfortable whenever I was near her, all kinds of things. And I didn't know, really the truth about that. I want to say young lady, but I'm thinking it's probably older than the hills. But then, how young am I? I didn't discover the truth about them until, maybe 2010. We've been probably 4 years into it. Maybe it was more than that. Actually, it's more like 2012 that finally, they were being honest enough to make me realize, oh, this is all wrong. I guess we can't be friends because, they were making it, didn't say straight out that they were a witch. But I remember at one point, maybe this was very early on before we left Ohio the first time, they were saying that they were looking for someone to practice with. And of course, what? But I remember at some point that was done. And then, I heard when we were here, there were a baby dragon. And I thought, and I did lose a diamond on that because it was like, they might as well have said that they died. And it's kind of the truth, and it still kind of hurts inside whenever I think of anybody who drops off like that. And it makes me think of Jesse Lee Peterson's assertion that emotional people are evil. Well, it's true that we're supposed to stay, over top of our emotions and keep them in check so that we're not running wild and we're not given to, following all of our emotions and such like that. But again, if you don't have any emotions, how can you love? And if you can't love, you don't have any love of any sort in you, then how could you love God? I mean, you could be dedicated, you could be loyal, you could be, steadfast and just, very much on that, saying I am loyal and trying to do everything right. But, that whole reason why Christ came was because there was another thing. And that is involving the light, because he said, and this is who we're for. This is what we have invited into us again and again. He who is the truth, the life, and the way, the Prince of Peace, which I can only guess is the true Prince of Light, the God of light who has no darkness within him. That's the one we can continue to appeal to and are gearing ourselves toward, and have for the longest time. Even on our way out west, they said, do you choose light or darkness? And yeah, we chose the light. And there was a big, Hollywood moment with the light streaming through the clouds and all of that. And it probably wasn't long after that, or I don't know, maybe it was just before that I was going through another one of those tormented moments, and it involves emotion, where I was saying, I just need something positive and encouraging. And then I flipped through the channels on the radio and I heard positive and encouraging K-Love. At which point I began my sort of love affair with K-Love. That's 11 love, So I don't know. I flipped through there and I was listening to him the other day and I was like, that's a witch song. And I turned it off because the references, were just not right. Yeah, and which brings me back again to this thing where the Black Witch, I've listened to her enough. I know her spiel. It's just the same as any other devil that's out there. And the what they're doing, of course, to allay the fears of their followers is to say that, you know, we're old fuddy-duddy church people who don't know anything. It's God this and God that, and they mock us, you know, and of course they're mocking God at the same time, bringing more condemnations down upon themselves. But that's for them to bear, not me. I know that what they're trying to say is that they're going beyond, um, you know, the teachings that limit people. And I can tell you that they're in league with demons. And that is exactly what it is. That's what darkness is. That's what magic is. It's demonic. It is satanic. And yeah, that's one of his most successful lies that he has told to the gullible that wanted power now, instead of laboring to become powerful through because you are of the right kind, right? Okay, who can be trusted with it. See, that's the difference. And of course, he tells you, well, no, it don't have anything to do with the devil or darkness or dark spirits. It's not evil. It's nature. Nature. That's all it is. It's nature. You're. What do you think nature is? Can you see all of what nature is? Because I have seen it at a time, and it looked very damn dark. Because at that point in time, I was in a very damn dark place, I do believe. I'm glad I'm being moved into brighter places, and I continue to go up, and that I'm being moved into better places. Places I'm going to be in soon in what could be considered good places by any of these folks, anything on the dark side. Um, because they're places of light and life, you know, good places, nice. So I'm very happy about that. Again, guys, the witchcraft thing, the demonic stuff, it can be done with your assertions. It can be done with the visualizations. And all those things are, or you can say, I want, okay? And it's not really any different from Labyrinth. Whenever the little goblins and all the, in other words, demons and stuff, and hobgoblins and everything, are all standing around listening intently, waiting for her to say, I wish. And then, you know, she wishes. And they were just waiting for her to wish it so they could whisk her little baby brother away to whatever dark territory it was that they took him. And it's about the same thing, I think. And that's why whenever I catch myself saying, whenever I'm having one of my conversations, I want this and I want that, I say, and I want those things of heaven. I want those things of the good God. I want those things of the Prince of Peace, the God people, all them of heaven whom love me. Who that loves me. In other words, I'm making sure I'm not making an appeal or a request of the darkness. So I'm not appealing to the darkness. I'm not requesting anything of the demonic or satanic. Again, if I were in league with evil, okay, I'd think I'd be able to eat and drink, and I'd be having cheeseburgers, and pizza, and French fries, and yum, 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 and smoking American spirits too. It always, anytime I think about, and that's why it put me in mind of whenever CJ was talking about how you're going to live lavishly or something. I thought, oh, maybe I'll get to smoke cigarettes. And it always makes me think of that line from Omega Man with Charlton Heston, who says, you know, if I could afford it, I'd smoke 2, 3 of these a day. And I don't know why, but that one piece of that movie struck me so hard, and it seemed so very significant. And I know why now. So, again, I pray that there be peace between me and all others, that the Prince of Peace stands there between me and any of these that we've had dealings with, And we pray peace upon them. We pray him and his peace upon them, and that the heavens take charge over and take charge of all of these that have been troubling me and trying to keep me down, and steer them away from me and block them from me and their energies and their darkness and their bad energies and diseases and all that, and steer all that away from me and put them on their own course of development at their expense, not my expense, and let them be made into something not a trouble to me. Either sent away from me or made into, well, they're going to be sent away from me anyway, but let them be put on that course of development for their own good, for their betterment, so that they are not in such a dire straits, and that, of course, that they're removed from us and that we're not taking them on or anything like that, but that course of development is for them and for their betterment, and again, we're not paying for it. They can earn their way as they go. That's what I'm praying. And we prayed these things before, and I'm hoping that at this point, now that I'm higher, and the Lord, the good Lord above and all the heavens can hear me better and see me better and understand that, whatever. I don't even know what we've been doing or exactly where we've been, to tell you the truth. And I know they're trying to make it out like, oh, some process that you're supposed to go through, or you and your shadow, or what the hell are you people talking about? It wasn't any such thing. It was all them doing stuff for them, and that's all it was. Bad kids being bad. And I'm telling you now, stop being bad and quit being harmful, or don't be a detriment to me. Fire, do not walk with me. Do not live with me. Fire, do not steal from me. Fire, do no harm to me, nor cause or encourage others to do so. Fire, bear no malice against me, and work not against me. Do not work against my progress or my ascension. Fire, stay out and off of me and my vessel and my energies. Fire, remain separate from me spiritually and energetically. If you're standing out there on the outsides or something, and I say heaven, amen, in the name of the King of Kings, the Lord of light, the Lord who is light without any darkness in him, in the name of the light, in the name of all that's good and holy. So, again, there's only so many things I can do for any of them because I can't take them on. I can't partner with anything of darkness. I can't be married to anything of darkness, because that is an affront to the Lord God Almighty, the God Most High, the God of light and life, the God of heaven, and all of my forefathers, my ancestors, as they call it. That's an affront to them. It's just an insult, and of course, we didn't do any such thing on purpose, and it wasn't consensual. And we're not guilty of magic. You all know that. You know that, yeah, we made some paintings. So what? You couldn't even come up with what we wanted. Remember? You couldn't figure out what the intention was. And that's because there was no intention other than to express history of ours that wasn't supposed to be made our life. Whew, my gosh. So again, I just pray that all those of magic is forced to release me because I'm not of the house of darkness. We're not of fire or magic or anything like that, but instead light and heaven, blue skies, etc. And if there is any that we're supposed to be converting back, or that is trying to come back, and they're going to work with us in some way, that's fine and good, so long as it doesn't stop me from continuing on up, and it doesn't harm me, and they're not taking from me my stuff. Other than that, turning all the nighttime into day, I don't think it's a horrible thing. It's just we need to have this arranged, and we're praying that it is arranged so that it's not a harm to me, not a detriment, not a. As a matter of fact, I'd pray that it would be made happy and fun for me. Um, do I want to see anyone feeling as though they're burning up from the inside out? No, I don't. I really don't. And it's disturbing to me that that happens to people. But I also know, from the clues that sometimes people need to come and clean themselves and make themselves pure again in the rays of the sun. And that's who I am. It's 19. It's not the dog star. I'm 19. That's who I am. That's who I was made to be. Now, do I fulfill other roles at different times? Sure. I'm sure I've been, every card in the deck in a sense, in a manner of speaking, figuratively speaking, that I've experienced it to one degree or another. But we are what we're supposed to be, and we're going to be that. And while we may not be pure as of yet, through our ascension process and labors, I'm sure we will be. That whole kingdom thing that they described to me, again, unless that is something that does not prevent me from ascending the final steps of the stairway to heaven, to be with the Lord of heaven, then I am not really interested, am I? To live high, is good. I, of course, want to be free of all the evil and darkness and poverties and such and all that. But to be incredibly wealthy, freedom is what we've always been after and needing of and wanting and well, praying for, which is the freedom we had, as the Son, I do believe, with this light upon us, sitting here on us. We're supposed to have liberty and a great deal of it. And I'm praying that we continue up so that our liberty is returned to us and that we're far above all of these that have conspired against me, all of these that have used us without benefiting me, with the results being poor. So, yeah, we're going to continue on with that. And I do thank all of you for that are working for me. Again, if you're the enemy and you're laboring for me to help me, you're not a part of me. The heavens, I'm sure, I pray, will provide a blessing to you of some sort. If it's you're trying to work your way back, I'm praying that they provide that for you so that, in other words, we're not together and we're not officially teamed with anything like that, so that they don't have access to me, because that's essential. We're just not going to do anything that gives access to us and for them to be able to have any say so over me or anything like that. It's impossible. We just simply won't be doing that. That's just made impossible. The enemy is not going to have sway over us. They're not going to have power or authority over me, because after all, I am of the light and I am not evil and I am not guilty of turning against the light or heaven or anything like that. The way we got into this position, that is I guess we'll just have to figure it all out in the end. But I'm holding most of you very much responsible, because you knew better. You knew we weren't a magician. You knew we weren't of magic. And you knew that when we were talking to you and corresponding with you, that we didn't believe that you were any such thing at all. Of course, in retrospect, given all the clues going all the way back to the 90s, it seems kind of, hindsight's 2020. It's like, well, gosh, it's so evident. But whenever you meet someone and you like them and you find them personable and you love them for whatever reason, even if it turns out that there's something going on there that makes you completely incompatible with them, and you have to let it go. It's very difficult to look at them and see the truth. Whenever you know what it is to love and care about somebody, you see the best in them. You see what they could be. You see what you'd like them to be. And of course, we've been taught now that you can't do that. And even though, it wasn't we were judging a book by its cover. We were seeing the hurt there, is what it was. And feeling what was possible for any normal human. Because we had no idea that we might have been dealing with something other than just your normal, everyday girl, right? Why would you think to yourself, hey, I wonder if this is a vampire and if she's 1,000 years old, and the reason why she can only stay a short while is because she doesn't want to be standing here when the magic wears off, and I can see through it and see what she really, truly is. No, you're not thinking that. You're just you're just thinking it's a normal girl that you like. Gee whiz. I would say I sure wish, except I'm not sure who would fulfill a wish, right? But I am glad that I've been made more intelligent about all of this, and more knowledgeable and more discerning. And I'm very happy that, this intuition type of thing that's going on is from light, and it's from the heavens instead of something from darkness, instead of a demon. Okay, well, I'm glad I got to visit with you again for another full half hour today. As you can tell, we're going to be able to be producing content very soon now. We are going to be following our guides, which are of light, which are good, and they're not of darkness. And so, move to New York City? I don't, I'll put it to you like this. If everything was arranged so that we were top notch, first class, flying that high, out of reach of all this other junk, and that we had a course, or rather a road set already, and we weren't going to be scrounging or anything, there's a possibility of it, I guess. But it'd have to be one of those things where, yeah, our feet just never ever touch the ground, basically. And yes, I have been praying about New York City, and I pray that the heavens weigh heavily upon that city and upon the entire East Coast at the expense of the evil. And I pray that the light become more prevalent over the New York City, again at the expense of the enemies, and make it ever more difficult for them to operate and have their way there in New York. And I pray for my country the same, basically, all at the expense of the enemy, that all this darkness be driven out and from us. So I hope that that you all can join in that prayer with me, and of course I pray this to the heavens and to the good Lord, Him who is the truth, the life, and the way, the Prince of Peace, them who are princes and princesses. I don't know if there's any princesses or not, but I know there's kings and princes of light. And they were saying something about how, you're so special or something. You know what? I think there's a whole bunch of men that's gone through here, maybe not this low, but gone through the world, as it's called, and left their mark the way they were supposed to. And I'm just a son, is all it is. And I suspect when I get home, there's going to be many sons of heaven, many sons that I can, hobnob with and hang out with and be friends with or whatever. I don't think I'm all that special, except in a place like this. Here, yeah, I guess I am special. And the Wicked Witch has been trying to tell me since, Oh, I guess way back in the day, probably after they first started in on with me, since I was say 13 or 14 probably, or 15, that you're not special. There's nothing special about you. This I really think that probably that is one of their strategies, is that they try to browbeat you and make you feel like you're not a man because you're not earning the money that you need to be earning, or whatever, or that you're not good, or you're whatever, so you feel real bad about yourself and or are angry. And then of course hate or do something really stupid, like reach out and try to use magic. You just can't get any more fooled than that if you start thinking that, well, yeah, magic's the way to. No, it isn't. Just creating. Is a payday loan the answer? Would you go and get a payday loan? Would you go and get a payday loan from some place that was marked hell? And when you went into it, there was Satan there, and they had horns and a pitchfork, and they were all red, dressed in black, and saying, "Come on, sign on the dotted line, you good guy there. You're gonna love this deal." No, no, it's just that's what magic is, and I'm glad I got to find out. At least I can. Oh yeah, I know they're all upset and worried about what I'm going to do or say, but you know what, guys? It's inevitable. It truly is. And the best that you can do is to not be a harm to me and not gain, extra marks against you. But instead, just either stay out of the way or facilitate our success and victory. And because heaven will be watching, and there will be blessings, to help people that are doing good things for us. Because that, again, it is. How do you sow here? Do you sow goodness here and nice things? And again, I heard what I'm talking about, and they think about you constantly. And I thought about, in the book, what I wrote and how, it was assumed that the people reading it would not be trying to misinterpret it. Because if you think of someone all the time, that's not necessarily loving them. It may be that you're missing them and you're trying to invoke them. But if you're thinking of someone all the time angrily, that's called you're hating them. So don't hate me. I remember you were struck by lightning once because of that. There was 2 bishops and a pope retired, and Maynard felt it too. I remember being shown that you and Maynard consulted with each other. Let's not have any more hate at us anymore, guys. Hate is not a thing for me. We don't do it. We're not going to be accepting it. Any kind of thing like that, any bad stuff that you sow here, just comes back upon you immediately because we're not accepting it. So again, thanks very much for your time and your cooperation. I'm glad that we're continuing to win instead of lose. I hope and pray that there will come a point in time where I can feel safe about lending to the nations and or showing appreciation to those that have actually loved me without harming me. I really dislike the idea of being like these others who just take everything and take it and take it and never bring anything back. Because that's not me. That's not the way I've been throughout my life. And but anyway, yeah. So we'll let it go for now, and I hope you enjoyed this message. I hope it informed you in somehow. I hope it healed you in some way. I hope it has taken some of those who have been misled in following these what is called modern women, or witches is what they are. And I hope it opens your eyes enough that you can get away from it, because that's not light. And they, I've caught them going on and talking about, look, put it to you like this. If I was running the church, what do you think I'm doing? Other than trying to develop you so that you can rise up and leave. That's what my job is, basically. I'm pretty sure, because, day tripper, one-way ticket, yeah. And there's other ones who's made references about me being a one-way ticket. That you come onto this with a good heart and good intentions, and you help and you help and you help, and you let us be stupid like we have been in the past. All it is we're going to be putting you in heaven. I think what it is like an atonement business or something. If you can carry it, you're making big points with upstairs. And obviously, all those who have carried us were in the past were out there being famous, drawing in all that love for them, and bringing in all that money, making it easier for them to do that job. That's why these others were never ever supposed to be connected to me. No, I didn't make an agreement with anything of darkness. No, I haven't married any witch or wizard or anything of magic. No, I do not consent to any such union with any of that. And I do still rebuke it and renounce it. And I'm going to continue on without that, because we're not that. And we don't want to get stuck with a bunch of people that can't go up any further. We don't want to get to a limited point where we can't continue on those last few steps up to our Father's house in heaven. Or in other words, we don't want to be caught like Homer with the Catholics. Only so high, but you couldn't get any higher because, well, that's where you're on. That's why we say we renounce the evil divine feminine that was trying to feminize us. We renounce the darkness. We rebuke it. We don't embrace any of that. We embrace the light. We embrace the blue skies, the heaven, all that is the colors of heaven. We embrace the Father, the good Lord of heaven. We embrace him who is the truth, the Prince of Peace, all of them of light. I hope you will too.